Welcome all REMchannel clients and all our prospective clients. We are proud to present our podcast for the analysis of the retail and fast-moving consumer goods remuneration trends as at July 2018. We hope you enjoy the presentation and we trust this will give you the insights into the current REM trends for the industry. Today we will discuss the following topics: the big picture of rewards and benefits, a REMchannel recap, the REM trends for the industry, and some survey administrative notes and reminders, and finally an introduction of our people and organization team at PwC. Our first topic is the big picture. Where does it all fit in?
Remuneration and reward is all very well in terms of what we pay, and how much we pay, but if these payments are not done in line with your business strategy and operational needs, you might run into trouble. It's therefore important to always consider the total reward model in your strategy. This diagram illustrates the REMchannel reward model. A reward model is embodied in an organization's reward philosophy. A reward philosophy normally consists of a set of beliefs which underpin the reward strategy of the organization, governing the reward policies and providing guiding principles which determine how the reward process operates and also determines pay decisions in the organization. This model demonstrates the various aspects of reward. On the left, remuneration and benefits, which consist of fixed and variable remuneration. Fixed remuneration is referred to as the salaries we pay to employees, including various elements of benefits. The fixed remuneration is determined using pay structures developed around a grade structure. Variable remuneration can consist of short and long-term incentives which assist to promote pay for performance culture. On the right, we have the rewards environment, which includes the aspects of how an employee relates to an organization, the team and direct management, as well as his own job. The character, reputation, brand, and achievements of an organization form a big part of the reward environment. Relationships, teamwork, and support from the team is critical to an employee's association with an organization. Lastly, employees need meaningful work and recognition for achievement and contributions made to the organization. An employee's well-being is vital to the reward environment and will influence and prove as a result of the impact of the organizational reward structure. Combining all these aspects of reward will significantly influence an employee's decision to join, stay, or even leave a firm. Next, we'll do a recap on REMchannel, Namibia's largest online salary survey. REMchannel, which is hosted by PwC, is Namibia's largest online salary survey. We currently have over 97 subscribed participants in the survey. The survey enables the subscriber to pull customized report on salary data within the Namibian market. Therefore, it is not a published survey, but an online survey. The survey currently runs in most of the SADC countries, including South Africa, Botswana, Swaziland, Lesotho, and some other African countries and European countries as well. The survey has over 60,000 data points and 500 market positions. The data is compiled from actual payroll dumps and published monthly so that therefore accurate and up-to-date actual salary data. Rigorous testing is performed on the data collected, which makes it reliable. The survey runs 24/7 and 365 days a year. The health of the survey is dependent on the consistent number of participants and data. During the last 12 months, we have experienced some drop-offs due to financial and budgetary constraints. However, we are experiencing a turnaround where we have several new subscribers joining, adding valuable data to the survey.
Now, the source of the data is our PwC REMchannel survey. Here you can view the list of participants for the retail sector as well as the fast-moving consumer goods sector. Within the retail sector, we have 10 active participants, namely Ackermans Namibia, Agra, Brol Namibia, Pupkewitz & Sons, Pick n Pay, Pupkewitz Holdings, Pupkewitz Motors, Shoprite Checkers, Foschini Group, and Woolworths. Within the fast-moving consumer goods sector, we currently have 10 active participants, namely Bacomo, Feedmaster, Meatco, Namib Mills, Namib Poultry, Namib Breweries, Namib Dairies, Pasapulana, Tongaat Hewlett, and Walfish Bay Salt Refiners.
Within REMchannel, we create industry circles or sector circles that are more specific to an industry. Currently, we have 16 circles. There are some overlaps across some of the industry circles, for example, mining with manufacturing and manufacturing with technical. All the circles make up the national database. Therefore, A national industry encompasses all the data points across all the different industries. Upon joining, the participant's data will automatically become part of the national circle, and the participant will have access to the national circle, typically where one would benchmark the generic positions like HR, finance, marketing, etc. against the national market. Furthermore, the participant's data will automatically become part of one industry-specific circle, as selected during their sign-up, and have access to the benchmark against this specific industry circle. Typically, this will be the core business of the participant, for example, mining, retail, or financial services. A participant may, however, belong to further industry-specific circles at an additional cost. When a participant requests to be part of a circle that is not their primary industry, all the participants in this industry circle must grant their permission for this company to become part of their industry circle. We are currently targeting the hospitality industry and the short-term insurance industry, for whom we aim to have similar sessions like this. In comparing salary data in the survey, we look at all the remuneration, which makes up total guaranteed components. These are the items included in total package, which are payments and benefits of a fixed and regular nature, and the values can be determined thereof. Employees will basically be entitled to these payments when they show up for work. These items normally include basic cash, annual guaranteed bonus or 13th check, pension benefits, car benefits, housing benefits, other cash benefits, telephone, tool, computer allowances, car or travel allowances, entertainment allowances, and we also consider other non-cash benefits. Please note that even if your company does not apply the TGP principle, the data we collect and use to compare in the market will still relate to TGP, so as to have a more accurate picture of the actual remuneration and benefits paid in the market.
Let's have a look at how TGP practice is applied in the market. It's important for us as employers to educate employees to understand the TGP principles so that they know what to look out for should they want to leave or join a company. In a situation where they are offered $1,000 more in basic cash, the question they should be asking is whether the $1,000 is worth more if considering the total benefits offered. Unintended consequences of TGP practice is that people do not look at the total value of the benefits. Here we have an illustration of three companies and their total pay structures. Company A is typically a retail company. It has a large variable component and very little benefits covered by the company. The employee has to pay from basic salary. Variable components are not received every month, thus they are not reliable and not guaranteed. So it depends on the risk appetite of the employee. Company B is typically a government structure where benefits are great but people do not know its worth. Education is key on how much they would pay for these benefits should they leave the government structure. Company C is typically a private sector organization where essential benefits are covered but the employee must cover the rest from their basic salary. The performance element is dependent on the market, company performance, and it's never guaranteed. Based on the current information available on REMchannel, we can see 71% of the retail industry and 75% of the FMCG industry of unionized staff and general staff are still on basic plus benefits remuneration structures, which we note is highly influenced by unions. For the unionized staff, the structures offers an opportunity to negotiate on benefits, therefore creating the illusion this remuneration approach creates more bargaining power. From the figures above, it's evident that the majority of management and executives are on TGP. Market trend is that TGP is used for employees with allowances which tend to be on this level. TGP allows for easier market comparisons, more individual package structures, flexibility, and thus is becoming the market trend. Let's look at some package compositions in the industries. In the retail sector, the staff packages consist of an average of very little car and travel benefits and very little other non-cash benefits. We are concerned with the percentage going to retirement funding. This should be at least 10%. We also see low housing allowances, about 4%. However, the market practice is between 25 to 30%, an area which can definitely improve, as we all have housing expenses and we can receive a tax benefit here. Management packages, we see almost no other cash benefits. We see company car and car benefits significantly more than staff, as this could be a prerequisite for performing their work. Retirement is still low, and here we see a small portion for entertainment allowances. Considering the nature of the industry, it is expected. In the FMCG sector, the staff packages consist of an average. Very little car and travel benefits were captured and very little other non-cash. However, we understand that company transport is normally granted to employees. Here we're also concerned with the retirement funding. Again, this should be at least 10%. We also see low housing allowances, 9%, again an area for improvement. Management packages, we see company car and car benefits which are more than the staff level but less than in the retail sector. Retirement is still found to be low, however on par with market practice of 10%. Here we also see a small portion of market premium allowances. Hence, we can see a premium is paid for those in specialized positions, probably with specific industry knowledge and experience. Our next session is looking at the REM trends for both industries. Now, the analysis gets more interesting. We all know that the drive behind annual increases are not always singular. Various elements contribute to salary and wage increases, like union negotiations, individual and company performance, economic forecasts and affordability, historic increases, industry comparisons, market benchmarks, and many more. The current inflation for June 2018 was reported at 4%. The average over the past 6 months, or first 2 quarters of the year, was 3.7%, which gives us a 12-month average inflation of 4.5%. All in all, almost half the inflation this time last year. We would believe that inflation plays a significant role in the retail and fast-moving consumer goods markets, as profit margins are lower than for other industries. So what are your expectations in this area, and what drives your increases? Next, we will have a look at the reported increments for the industry. Here we have the mandated pay adjustments from our survey data. So each participant is required to complete a questionnaire which asks what their increases were in the last 12 months and what their budgeted or mandated increases are for the next 12 months. The table also splits the increases between total guaranteed package and basic plus. Also, we can note that the increases are more to the lower level staff than on executive level. Interpreting the data is always interesting, so why would it be? Interesting to note that the increases are more than the average CPI. Here we have the mandated pay adjustments from our survey data for the fast-moving consumer goods industry. We see relatively the same picture as before. However, predicted increases are more than in the retail industry, and they are also more than the average CPI. So this information is accessible by subscribers, which they normally use to budget their own increases. However, it's important to consider how old these estimate increases are, as we need to know when they are provided for. From the review month statistics for the retail industry, it is safe to say that the previous predictions may still be slightly aged, as the bulk of the industry will be finalizing their increments during the months of July for upload in REMchannel during August. The question here is, when do you start budgeting? From our current participants in the sector, the following are the salary review months for the industry: March, April, July, and August. It would be safe to say for this industry, using the data as published after August would be the most relevant for budgeting purposes. Also remember, REMchannel has a projection tool which can be used to either project the market data or your own data with a desired percentage, to see what the effect would be if such an increment was incorporated in the data. For the fast-moving consumer goods industry, we see similar results. Hence, the same would apply when considering budgeting and data projection. The retail sector includes about 6,780 data points. Most employee positions are to the sales function with the supporting services or administrative jobs following. This merely shows which discipline form the core function of the business and which supplement the core function. The fast-moving consumer good data includes about 4,524 data points. Most employees' positions are to the technical functions, with the sales, support services, and distribution jobs following. Once again, showing the disciplines which make up the core function of the business and which supplement the core function. Here we performed an analysis on age and gender for the retail industry. The age analysis is very interesting. The 26 to 35 and 36 to 45 are your largest contributors. Why is this important? I would ask, are the benefits offered appealing to these age groups? Are you catering for all, or is it an across-the-board application of benefits? We also see a large slice that goes to the under 25ers. It's interesting to note that females dominate the industry at face value, which we only see in one other industry in Namibia. Here we have the analysis of age and gender for the fast-moving consumer goods. Again, we see the 26 to 35 and 36 to 45 are the largest contributors. Again, we ask the question, are we catering for the specific age group needs in terms of benefits? It comes as no surprise that males dominate the industry at face value, and perhaps due to the technical nature of the work as well as the type of work performed. Here we have a comparison of the Southern African countries we have on the REMchannel survey. We would always assume that South Africa is the biggest payer, but looking at the graph, we see Lesotho actually pays more on average than other countries. But now I would like to emphasize that it is extremely important that when you benchmark, you need to know what data you are using and also try and interpret why the data is showing a different picture. South Africa's economy is about 10 times larger than Namibia, so is it really a fair comparison? We did note that we are fairly on par with the South African retail market. Botswana has a different governmental structure, so they don't contribute to medical or pension. So it seems that they are paying very low, but we are not necessarily comparing apples with apples. Lesotho, on the other hand, is made up mostly of branches of South African companies, which are manned by South African expats who are paid incidentals and premiums to work in Lesotho. So now that you know what is in the data you use, it gives us a different interpretation of the data we use to benchmark. Next, we illustrate the Namibian leading industries in comparison. The retail industry lags the overall market by 36%, which is actually an improvement to previous reviews. We've seen a lag of up to 50%. The fast-moving consumer goods industry has a strong technical discipline, and we see it lagging the overall market with only a 12%. Our next comparison is the remuneration differences of technical disciplines with non-technical disciplines for the fast-moving consumer goods sector. We can see that on average, the technical disciplines earn slightly more than the non-technical by about 3%. And we see the difference increasing from the skilled levels to professionally qualified. Hence, again, we can see a market premium is being paid for technical disciplines in the fast-moving consumer goods industry. A similar comparison is done for the remuneration differences of sales disciplines with non-sale disciplines for the retail sector. We find on average that sales positions do not necessarily earn more than the support functions. We also note that the sales discipline only go up to professionally qualified and are not found in senior management, or rather from senior management the disciplines would change. This is an interesting observation considering that the sales discipline is at the core of the business. For the retail industry, we compared the remuneration differences between South Africa and Namibia. We can see that the two economies are relatively on par. However, Namibia is still slightly pays less or lower on less qualified levels. Reasons could include that South Africa has introduced a revised minimum wage as well as paying a living wage principles which have not been adopted in Namibia. However, from professionally qualified to senior management levels, we are in a more competitive position. Here we compare the remuneration differences for the fast-moving consumer goods industry between South Africa and Namibia. We can see that the two economies are relatively on par, where South Africa only pays about 11% more on average, which we can tie to the principle that the South African fast-moving consumer goods market is larger than the Namibian. Once again, we see the market premiums in the remuneration from the skilled levels upwards. For interest's sake, we've included a comparison of the private sector versus the public sector, as this comparison is always a hot topic. Who pays more? The public sector actually remains in the lead with an average of 7% over the private sector. If you look at the exponential line, the maroon line represents the public sector. Salaries are higher on lower levels and then lower on more senior levels compared to the private sector. This is an illustration from the Namibian National Market's pay per discipline, specifically for a professionally qualified employee. Technical disciplines are paid above the rest, where education would follow and thereafter safety officers and IT-related disciplines. Normally, pay is linked to qualification, as well as the consequence of error. For example, where mistakes are made with a distribution may be far less than those in a technical position. The analysis of this would indicate that one generic pay structure may not accommodate all disciplines, and from a pay scale perspective, you could consider having two pay scales, one for technical disciplines, which are at the core function of the business, and one for support staff. But this may cause administrative issues as well as perceived unfair pay on the same grade level. This next section, we would like to share some important survey administration notes and reminders. Here we have our REMchannel upload project plan. From our REMchannel participants, you will be requested to do your REMchannel upload a month subsequent to your salary increases being granted in the organization. A grace period of one more month may be granted for uploading, after which your data and access from the system will be discarded until an upload is done. Please understand we have several clients uploading monthly, hence any late submission causes pressure which could be avoided altogether. Please feel free to contact our team if you struggle with the process or need help to finalize the information required. Kindly note that the project timeline is shared well in advance for you to diarize every step of the upload process to meet our deadlines. There are 5 key dates, of which the 4th date is the submission complete stage, when the upload process must be finalized in order for your data to be included in the next month's publication. This deadline is the same across Africa and can therefore not be changed. Step 1 refers to the submission of the upload file. Please submit your upload file in the format required. You are welcome to contact our team should you have any queries in the population of the upload file. In step 2, we compare your salary data to the remuneration policies, and where the salary data does not correspond with the policies, we will provide you with queries to ensure validated data is included in the upload file. Where required, the upload file is then updated for uploading into REMchannel. In step 3, we compare your internal jobs to the REMchannel jobs, focusing on an 80% job match based on the job content, description, grade, and qualifications are all used as guidelines in this exercise. During this step, we will also conduct a job audit process where we conduct a two-fold comparison, 1 to the job every individual is matched to, and 2 to the grade the individual falls in. Where there is disparity of more than 30%, either above or below market data, queries are raised in order for us to understand why the salaries differ with the market data. Step 4 is then the end of the upload, and step 5, which usually takes place on the first Monday of the new month, will be when you can view your latest comparisons to market. We request that you provide all the required information. The more you give, the more you can receive. As emphasized in the previous slide, please ensure that you stick to the deadlines in submitting the upload file. Once you miss the first deadline, you fall behind with the following deadlines. However, we are able to assist if you are under pressure. All that we require is communication from your side. Furthermore, we kindly request that you submit your data in the required format. You are welcome to provide more information such as additional columns as to how the totals are calculated. It is just important that you indicate this to us, as the system will only accept the upload file if it is in the correct format. Point number 3 touches on the important element, which is the review of data. Please ensure that another pair of eyes review the data before sending it to us. It is also advisable for the matching to be reviewed before sending. A good idea is to always check your own salary data for accuracy. We kindly request that you please ensure that your contacts for REMchannel remain updated, as we will not know who the correct contacts are for every step of the upload if you do not inform us of any staff changes. If your payroll person is responsible for the REMchannel upload file population and your OD person for the matching, please inform us accordingly. We will also, as far as possible, ensure that the team manager is CC'd in to ensure that he or she remains in the loop of the deadlines and can assist if a relevant person is unavailable. Point number 5 is one we often assist with, and this is to ensure you match to REMchannel positions where there is market data available. If you do have any specific positions you cannot find market data for, please get in touch with us and we can assist with alternative solutions. The last point relates to executive matching. Due to the limited data pool available for CEOs and MDs, we encourage you to provide us with the required financial data in order to be able to obtain data for these positions. Please be reminded that you can only get data up to the highest level you provided data for. We urge that you submit your CEO data to ensure we build a comprehensive data set for executive remuneration and benefits. We would like to take this opportunity to explain the REMchannel system criteria when it comes to population of market data. In order to obtain percentile data for a survey position, the system requires more than 10 data points matched to the position over at least 3 companies. Both criteria should be met before percentile data is generated. Alternatively, only average or mean data will be generated. This criteria is set to ensure that the data confidentiality of every company is maintained and to ensure that the company's identity is not compromised. Why this is important is for when extracting reports and then you have an insufficient sample on a data set, then please understand this is due to the system criteria that kicked in. If you need alternative solutions, please don't hesitate to contact the team. In an attempt to remain the largest Namibian salary survey, we are always open to your suggestions on ways to improve or enhance the system. We offer training on how to use the system every second month during our user training sessions, which is included in the REMchannel subscription fees. So please be encouraged to use this opportunity to ensure that you are comfortable to use the system. Due to the sensitive nature of the data included in every survey, you must update your password every 90 days. This can be done online. Please note that all communication and files shared from our office will be done through password-protected files. The password will remain the same for the full calendar year and will be shared via SMS or email. Should you extract reports and insufficient data is stated, please contact our office to assist with alternative solutions. Before we close off this podcast, we would like to share with you the pictures and names of our team. The People and Organization team can consult and assist with a variety of HR-related services on reward consulting, performance management, and people strategy. So please feel free to contact us should you require any assistance. We thank you for making the time to watch this podcast, and we hope to hear from you soon. Please feel free to contact any of our consultants should you have any questions or queries relating to rewards and benefits. Have a blessed week. Greetings from the Rewards Consulting team at PwC.